Coalition for Change, that is Nelson Chamisa. He reports that there are reports coming to him that ZANU PF officials are going around Mashonaland in rural communities, especially communities that were assisted through social welfare programs, I must believe through grain, collecting grain in the pretext of, donate to some foreign countries. And if that is true, then I think it does not come as a surprise to the desperate Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa faction, which always sees the people of Zimbabwe as having everything and going after its very, very own people. ZANU PF is an evil political institution that disregards the people of Zimbabwe. This is the political party that has been actually asking Zimbabweans to pay for 500 United States dollars just for a number plate, and they have reduced it to $50. It is still a lot. Greetings and welcome on your lovely channel, the Hlonipani Global News. If you are watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. So, according to Chamisa, he wrote on his actually X page, he says, "Stop this inhumane act. I've received multiple calls from concerned citizens in rural Mashonaland, deeply troubled by reports that ZPF, that is an abbreviation for ZANU PF, representatives are collecting grain from households that previously received support through social welfare programs. There is absolutely nothing for free from ZANU PF. Allegedly, this grain is being requisitioned under the pretext of foreign aid intended for countries that once assisted Zimbabwe, typical of ZANU PF. If these claims are true, they reflect a deeply disturbing and unacceptable abuse of power. Let it be clear, aid must never be demanded through force, intimidation, or coercion. Support given to vulnerable communities is not a debt to be repaid. It is a lifeline. To reverse that lifeline into an obligation is cruel, unjust, and morally indefensible. Stop this cruelty and insensitivity. Of course, then I'll just read a few comments that make sense before I give my analysis. Someone says, "Totiniko neZANU PF yatitambudza kudai. Kusvika rini vana veZimbabwe tichitambura kudai. What is the way for you?" I can read Shona flowingly. Come on, someone, clap hands for me. Someone says, "Imagine someone agrees to be sent by ZANU PF to his own community where he lives, collecting grains, which he knows are the only people scold. Where do these people get courage from?" I believe in actually people who comment they are the best analysts ever than the so-called educated analyst. Someone says, "Our struggle has to end soon." Someone says, "Munoti." Anyway, let me not read that one. Well, some ZANU PF people, obviously, they are opposing Nelson Chamisa for this. But caption this: we have got a political party that creates poverty, and then it has a department of social welfare. They support people most probably through inputs such as grain and whoever knows whatever ZANU PF gives to people. And their support, which, by the way, which is social welfare, the department is social welfare. When you are assisting your people in our culture, you don't then go to the same people. When you see that your assistance has yielded limited, people planted, they received the grain, but this grain is for, they practice obviously communal farming rather than commercial farming. So definitely the anticipation is that they keep this grain up to the next following planting seasons, especially that heavily rely on subsistence farming. But guess what? The unforgiving ZANU PF, the anti-people ZANU PF, goes to the very same people. And what do? They are asking for that grain and deceiving people, by the way. If you cannot give foreign aid to other countries that have helped you, why then forcing people to actually do so? People whom you know that they are living in poverty. It's just like what Mnangagwa was doing in Mozambique, sending trucks there with a lot of foreign aid, but people of Zimbabwe dying, struggling to actually make a single meal per day. But this man was going to a foreign country because he's trying to pretend there as someone with a good heart. Obviously, someone who was involved in the assassination of more than 100,000 of people of Matabeleland through Kukuraonde genocide is now trying to sanitize his character through the people of Mozambique, I'm sure, who does not have much information concerning him, but we have much information actually concerning this president. And look how he actually gets this grain. He cannot even actually use his own money to get this foreign aid. He is going to the rural communities in Mashonaland, rural communities that are struggling to make it on a daily basis. And guess what he is doing? He is demanding that these people sponsor his nefarious agenda, which is to appear as a president with something to give to the outside world, whilst the truth is known. This is pure public hypocrisy that they are trying to depict. Anyway, typical of a political party that is anti-people, that is not ashamed of doing what it is doing, if that is true. But I strongly believe Nelson Chamisa cannot just write about something he didn't fact check. Anyway, he's being careful of actually reporting, because we know the country, especially the regime, the kind of the regime that we are dealing with, they may actually enact the Patriotic Act to deal with him. Most probably he projected as something which he was told, he received it from another person, but he knows it is definitely happening, because he cannot write it if it's not happening. The fact that he's writing about it, it simply means it is something. And also, if you see me doing it, it is the truth. So it's actually a shame, and this is what Zimbabweans have actually to live with under Emmerson Mnangagwa. I think I will agree to one of the commentators responding to the post of Nelson Chamisa that change is needed as soon as possible. The more Mnangagwa spend the next day in the office, the more harm and untold suffering he causes to people, the more he becomes more and more harmful, and the more intensification it becomes of actually poverty and suffering. Thank you very much for us. Okay, someone saying it's not in Mashonaland only, in South, that okay, they are saying actually, someone is commenting and saying it is not only in Mashonaland. Sorry, my brother, I just saw this. I read the statement from Nelson Chamisa. It is said that also in Mate, this is what they appeal. So, which means it's a countrywide program that is done by ZANU PF to collect the grain from the people they assisted through social welfare programs. So, which means it is a nationwide intervention that is done by Emmerson Mnangagwa, collecting grain from the poor of the poorest, in the pretext of actually seeking to help the countries that have helped Zimbabwe. What a shame. Most probably they are trying to fill their silos through this particular maize and give an impression that we have got sufficient grain in our reserves without even purchasing it. Look at this government, how evil it is. In fact, this level of heartlessness is I think this shows that this gentleman, I think calling him even a president is an understatement. This gentleman, or this criminal, the more he stays into politics. How can you do that? How can you really do that to communities? A government that gives aid to its people and then later on go to demand a payback. This is simply what they are doing. And it's an embarrassment to the core to witness such happening in our communities. Anyway, what can you expect from these selfish people that are running the country, these Ganandas? And the Mnangagwa is actually a Gananda also. I mean, you cannot say it's these people around him. And I so look at what he is doing, and his wife, how the wife of Mnangagwa, noticing that there is a lot of money in the Department of Tourism, is siphoning the resources left, right, and center. It appears as if she is the Minister of Tourism in Zimbabwe, yet she is not. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, guess what, you become the very first one to watch us. You can financially support this channel by pressing the join button or subscribe plus button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Also, do remember to support my album entitled Uthando Lwakhe. You search for Hloniphani Ncube on all digital platforms, iTunes, Amazon Music, even on this channel, YouTube, it is available. Oka Ncube, Umhlabane is signing off. Let me love and live.